Oh, here they are, John Street. John Street. The Feast of Little Flower, you see, 3rd of October 1952. It's kind of a long time away. Couldn't be all that many, because we weren't away. I wrote on Tom Furlong's paper, look at it. He had a stamp of the National Association. Look at that. It's just an excuse to see how you were getting on. And these were roses sent on the Feast of the Little Flower. The remains of them. Because that's the way I get roses from now, not bunches. Well, there were no florists then to any great extent, you know.
Dad had a big, deep interest in roses and also bird life around the house, you know. It's fun. So one of those things that I wonder will I ever take an interest in, because when I was younger, I never understood the things that Dad was interested in, or I never was interested in. I think the peony roses or the peony roses, or however you want to pronounce it, at the foot of the steps out from the yard into the garden are something that perennially remind me of him, particularly at this time of year where we're in the process of removing the basin which is placed over them at the onset of winter to protect them from the frost.
Then there was peony roses there that my great-grandfather sowed in that particular spot. And even when the frost came, it didn't kill them off. And every May they come out and we put them on our grandparents' grave. Now, unfortunately, we go on my dad's grave.
And it's amazing how, I know they transcended him. He didn't plant them, but I have always associated those with him.
Daddy was very attached to his rosary and said, don't bury it with me, it'll do a bit of work yet. You know, he wouldn't stifle people with religion at all. He was a very religious man, deeply religious. Lovely bass on that. That needs to be tuned, but it's not bad enough for to bother with these kids. If Gaggy was here to get his nerves, because he was absolutely tone perfect. Now, it's a hard one, but he was.
And he played the piano every day. So, and Sundays before lunch he'd play it, and I used to sit in and chat to him while he'd be playing away, and I learned a lot about jazz from my dad in that room. I've now inherited all my dad's jazz records, and as I said earlier, he taught me an awful lot in there about jazz and the different styles of jazz, and he was a great pianist himself. He played a lot of jazz, and oftentimes then, whether it was Christmas or kind of any occasions, my parents would sing to something they shared very much in common, was music.
And Dad has a hammer. He used to tune it himself, bring up the notes. He used bring up the notes, that's another little bit. I think we want to live our lives all over again now. Flashback and start again. And we'd have great fun, wouldn't we?